Eric Schmitt, Attorney General of Missouri, with us. He sued the administration to keep Title 42 in place, just won an emergency stay. Mr. Attorney General, appreciate you being with us. Why don't you think the White House has appealed your success?
Why haven't they?
Yeah.
Well, they will. We're going to be back in court on May 13th. And so essentially, the Biden administration indicated they were going to cancel the successful Trump era Title 42 policy effective in mid-May. We actually had reports that they had already communicated with Border Patrol agents to let go of the rope earlier than that. So we sought the temporary restraining order this week. We were successful in that, so they can't terminate Title 42 right now. But this fight continues. We'll be back in court on May 13th to get the preliminary injunction and hopefully a permanent injunction from them doing this, because you saw those numbers, Leland, you put them up on the screen. We've seen waves and waves of illegal immigration before. We are about to see a tsunami of illegal immigration. It's a seasonal surge anyway, and Title 42 accounts for about 50% of the expulsions.
Yeah, no question about that. You'd say 50%. There's still 50, 60, 70,000 people a month at these numbers being let into the United States. This emergency order that you got to suspend using Title 8 to keep Title 42 in place, is there any reason to believe the Biden administration is going to actually abide by that order in good faith? And I realize that's a loaded question, but the reason I ask is that the Remain in Mexico policy that they were ordered to keep in place, they are doing at a rate of about 0.5% of what the Trump administration did.
Yeah, we're very familiar with this because Missouri and Texas, we were actually in front of the Supreme Court yesterday on the Remain in Mexico lawsuit. Missouri brought that with Texas. We were successful at the lower court. We have been fighting with them, or we've been successful at the Supreme Court on actually keeping Remain in Mexico in place, but we've been fighting with the Biden administration every month to see if they can make actual progress. So the level of lawlessness with this administration is unprecedented, and they don't care about a secure southern border. It's not in their interest. They have completely dismantled the successful initiatives that President Trump had. Missouri and Texas have also sued to finish the border wall because Congress has appropriated the money. So you take those three things: border wall, Title 42, Remain in Mexico, all very effective. Biden has sought to systematically dismantle them, and we're fighting back.
Just from a pure political standpoint, is fighting back really the best thing for Republicans? Because if Title 42 stays in place and Remain in Mexico gets enforced, whatever the crisis at the border is, you guys have solved for President Biden, right? Because you can tell progressives, hey, it's the bad Missouri Attorney General who's making me keep all these Trump-era things at the border. And he can say to moderates, look, I'm dealing with the border.
Well, look, I still think the rule of law matters. I think our borders matter. I think the American people expect us to fight for them, to fight for their country. I think that Americans want America back. And part of that is standing up for the rule of law, making sure we have a secure border. The Biden administration has expressed no interest in doing that. And so it's up to the states. The federal government, Leland, is actually supposed to do very few things. It's a government of limited power. One of those happens to be securing the border.
Securing the border and our national defense. I hear you. Part of this argument about Title 42 is you have to argue effectively to keep the COVID health emergency, because that's why President Trump put Title 42 in place. Here's Randy Weber, Republican of Texas, congressman, talking about how to do that, even though effectively COVID is over. Take a listen.
Well, I don't know that we would just simply argue that COVID is the emergency. There's cases of measles, smallpox, other infectious diseases that have long since been eradicated in the United States that have reared their ugly head.
Is it good for Republicans to sort of be arguing the 1910 talking points of isolationism and immigrants with disease?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm quite frankly tired of the liberal elites lecturing us about the sovereignty of other countries' borders. You just said in your previous segment, we're talking about Ukraine and Russia, but they do nothing about protecting our southern border, okay? And the reality is we don't know where these people are coming from. They're coming from China, they're coming from Russia, they're coming from other places beyond just South America and Central America. We have no idea because we have an open border policy. And by the way, Elizabeth Warren said this weekend that we ought to just grant them all amnesty now. So people need to wake up. This is the plan, right?
So what I'm hearing from you, though, is the ends justify the means, essentially.
Well, no, I'm saying that we don't know what communicable diseases people have from. We don't know where they're coming from.
No, I understand. I get that. I'm just sort of thinking about the optics of this. Is it really where Republicans want to be arguing immigrants bring disease?
Well, here's where Republicans need to be, and where I'm at. We need to have a secure border, and we don't now.
There's
open borders and amnesty, which has been a dream and rhetoric of the left, is now a reality, and we got to push back. We got to fight back.
I could not agree with you more on the fact that the border is open, and that's where we're headed right now, is down to it. Mr. Attorney General, it's always good to see you, sir, in a spirited discussion. We appreciate it, and always are glad to have you. You're welcome back anytime, sir.
Good to be with you again, Leland.
Thank you. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.